Clark said something racist. I hate him! Oh. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. My name's Clide. My pronouns are he, him, and before we start off this interview, I'd just like to say that I'm sorry for being white, because I know that as a cisgendered white male, I cannot possibly accurately represent the opinions of people of color in this interview. That's kind of
Okay, so first off, do you do any type of activism?
Loads of it. I mean, a large part of it's online. I mean, most of it, right? Well, okay. All of it is actually online. But there was this one time when I got this Twitter post that got like 10 retweets. And yeah, so that changed a lot of people's lives.
Yeah, cool. So you said that most of your activism was Twitter. So you said most of your activism is on Twitter. What are your thoughts on censorship, like the big media companies deplatforming people? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, well, obviously as a left-wing libertarian, I'm very anti-censorship. But some people's opinions are just too problematic to have on the internet. Such as, far-right extremists. They're spreading their hate, and we really should not allow them to be in a place where they can do harm to people.
So, by far-right extremists, you mean neo-Nazis, and the KKK should not be on social media, correct?
Who? Them? Well, maybe. But I was really talking about people like Joe Biden and Elizabeth Warren, the real war criminals. Stand with Assad!
You mean the dictator of Syria. How do you support him?
Well, yeah, sure. Maybe Bashar al-Assad is got some, maybe he's a product of where he's from, right? So, maybe he's a dictator with a couple of human rights abuses under his belt. But just think about how much worse it would be if he were replaced by a US-backed dictator who would commit human rights abuses. I mean...
So, you choose the lesser of two evils when it comes to dictators in Syria, but not when it comes to electing our own US officials?
Yeah, obviously. Joe Biden is 10 times worse than Trump.
So, I've noticed that you say you're a leftist, but are, very anti-Biden. And you mentioned that he's too far right?
Yeah, obviously. Joe Biden's a super conservative Democrat. So, Joe Biden, as I've already said, he's 10 times worse than Trump. So, a lot of people think that Trump was bad because he was, mishandling COVID. That's not actually true. He was good because he was mishandling COVID. Because a lot of people were suffering under COVID, and they saw that capitalism, the oppressive system, was what was killing them. But now, Joe Biden is using capitalism to fix COVID and make the situation for regular Americans better. And if regular Americans are living better lives, then they're not unhappy. And if they're not unhappy, then they're not actively trying to overthrow the system, which is bad for socialism.
Okay, so we have a few comments. In these interviews, we have comments from our viewers because they're interested in something to ask you. So first, we have interesting. Randy Red, right-wing Republican conservative, Donald Trump 2020. Interesting fellow here. He says, shut up you commie, socialist, evil, weird, dumb idiot.
What?
That's
That was obviously made by someone with no understanding of what the word communist, socialist, dumb, red, or idiot means. First of all, idiot and dumb are ableist slurs and you can't use them. Second of all, I'm not a communist or a socialist per se. As I have already said, I'm a left-leaning libertarian, which does not mean that I'm a member of the Libertarian Party or that I'm a right-wing libertarian. They stole and appropriated that term from real libertarians, which are left-wing libertarians, which are a lot like socialists, but different, because you see, the political compass is divided along left and right. On the left side, what we have is we have authoritarian left, like you have communists on the further authoritarian, further left, socialists closer to the center, but definitely not centrist, because Joe Biden is a centrist. He is awful. He's basically far right as far as I'm concerned. And then you have the green quadrant, which is libertarian left, and that's where I am, and that's much better. We have people like, we have anarchists, we have hippies, we have progressives. Progressives suck though, because they're not as left-wing as me, and progressivism is basically just the new liberalism, but I think we can move on now to the next question. I've answered that.
All right. Oh boy. So it seems like some of your DMs on Discord have been leaked.
What?
Some racial slurs.
What?
These people are bigoting you. They're angry. Oh, well, we're gonna end the interview. You're being canceled.
I've been cancelled!
Well, this interview's over. He's dead from cancellation. I'm gonna have to call the hospital and get an ambulance out here. We have a code C.